Hey guys, welcome back to Britton Farms Homestead. Today we're going to be canning carrots. I found a post online of a local church that had lots of carrots that was given to them. They had nowhere to store them to keep them viable until their next food pantry to give them to the needy. So they were calling on the community, anybody that needed them. We got these little snack packets of carrots from the church, and we got 2 cases of them. So these are, how many ounces? 2 ounces. So it's just little bitty, like for toddler snacks or a child snack, but there's 100 in each case. So I have 200 of these 2-ounce carrot packets. I'll show you what they look like. So this is one of the boxes, and what's really nice about these carrots and us canning these, we don't have to peel these or anything. They're already peeled. We just have to open these packets, and we're going to make glazed carrots. And I'm gonna go step by step how to do that, and I'm also gonna go step by step how to can those in the Presto 12-quart electric canner. And I'll show you right, let's see, Presto Digital pressure canner. Yes, this is the box right here. And this is what I use to can. I have 2 of them. One of them's my parents', one of them's mine. And I can can 5 quarts at a time in each one, so 10 quarts total. But that's what we're going to can in today, and I'm going to take you step by step how to do that in these pressure canners. I am a rebel canner. I will go ahead and let you know I'm a rebel canner. You need to do the research for yourself. See what's the best for you and your family. Your kitchen, your rules, honey. So if you don't want to can this way or you don't like it, you don't have to watch this video. But if you're interested in the Presto electric canner and how to make glazed carrots, I'm going to help you with both of those. Orange juice. Let's jump right into it. For this recipe, you'll need orange juice, and you're gonna need brown sugar. You can use light or dark. The big bags, all they had was light, so that's what I got. So you need brown sugar, you need orange juice, and you need water. You will need to use 1 cup of orange juice, 2 cups of water, and 2 cups of brown sugar. And that's supposed to make 6 pints. I'm gonna go ahead and start the process with this pot with this canner, because there's things you need to do before you move on to packing your jars and sticking them in here, and I'm gonna take you through that. First of all, we're gonna take this pot out. This pot is removable, and we have this in the bottom, so the jars don't sit directly on the bottom of the pot. They go on that. We're gonna bring this over here to the sink, and I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's lines on the side of this right here, and we need to fill this up with water to this first line, and all the directions are in there for this. It's pretty simple. It is kind of hard to remember sometimes, you know, what to do, but it comes with a laminated directions on how to use this and what to do and when to do it. Just keep that handy. If you have one of these Presto canners, keep that handy and have it accessible when you start, you know, your canning process, so you can run through those directions. It's the quickest way for me anyway. Alright, there's the line, and it's just now getting up to that line. We're going to put it right over the top of it, and we're done. So we've got our water in there like we should. Now we have 5 sanitized and clean canning jars, quart jars, and we're going to fill these halfway up with water, each one, and we're just going to set it in the pot. Just like that, all 5 of them. And you can use wide mouth or regular mouth jars, whatever you have. All right, now we're gonna take this back to the canner, and I can't hold the camera and tote it at the same time. We're gonna take this back to the canner and we're gonna put it back in, just like this. Okay, so I have the pot back in the canner here. We are gonna go ahead and plug this up. And it's gonna beep. Let me know that it is ready for me to do something. These are the laminated instructions I was talking about that comes with your pot. Just keep these handy because they're very handy to have. So now what we're going to do is, here's our lid. We're going to take our lid and we're going to make sure we're going to lock it in place. See, it says locked there. We're going to turn it to here to make sure it's locked. We're going to put this down and we're going to turn this green knob, which locks the lid for it not to be taken off, and then we're going to take this off. This is where it's going to vent before we put this back on. When we put this back on, it will be time, we'll put it on can, and it'll be time for it to build up pressure. But right now, it's just heating up the water and heating up the jars inside when I start this process, so our jars don't crack or bust. Now that we have everything in there and we're ready for this process of heating these jars, when you first plug it up, it should say pressure can. Now this knob right here, if you turn it, it's gonna change to boiling water can, which is hot water bath canning, and then pressure can. This pot will do either one, or this canner. So we want it on pressure can because we're gonna pressure can these carrots. We're gonna pressure can the quarts for 30 minutes. So our pressure can is blinking. We're gonna push this button in, which is gonna lock in the pressure can. And it should stop blinking, and then a timer should come up. And we want to put this on 30 minutes because our recipe calls for canning these quarts for 30 minutes. Once we get to the time we want for the pressure can, we're gonna hit this button right here, which has just like a little arrow on it. We're gonna hit that button, and it says insert jars. Well, we've already inserted our jars, so we've got our lid on. We're gonna hit this arrow button one more time, and now it says warm. And this process, I believe, takes about 20 minutes. So while this is warming up the water, warming up the canner, warming up our jars, we are gonna go make our brine to go over our carrots. And then when this gets done, it's gonna beep. I'm gonna come get these jars out. I'm gonna empty the water out. I'll pack the jars, put the brine in them, and put them back in here to can. So this recipe calls for, I'm doubling the recipe, but it calls for 2 cups of brown sugar, so I'm doubling it. So I'm putting 4 cups of brown sugar. It's calling for 1 cup of orange juice, so I'm putting 2 cups. And it's also saying 2 cups of water, so we're gonna put 4 cups of water. And then we're just going to simmer this on the stove and melt this brown sugar down so it's all liquid when we put it in the jars on top of our carrots. 4 cups of water. And now we're just gonna let it simmer, melt that sugar down. All right, our canner is beeped, and if you can see right here, it says fill jars. So now we're going to open this up. And you just twist this and flip this up, and then just open this, and our jars are nice and hot. Now you're gonna need something to get these out with because they're gonna be hot and they're too hot to hold. So let me get the lifter, the jar lifter. And I just lifted it out, and now we're just gonna dump out the water out of each jar. And we're gonna pack them just as tight as we can with carrots. Pack as many carrots as we can get down in here. We are also gonna leave an inch of headspace, and that's gonna be right here where that first line rim of the jar is, right here, the very first one. So that's about an inch right there, and we're not gonna fill past that. But we're gonna pack them in really well, good as we can get them. And for now, that looks pretty good. So we're gonna move on to the next jar. Oh, I'm gonna make a mess. We now have all of our jars packed with carrots, leaving the inch of headspace. I've got this one in a bowl. My brown sugar has dissolved in my brine here. So now I am just going to do this right here with this measuring cup and bring this a little bit closer so hopefully I don't make a mess. Okay. So then we're just gonna fill our jar, and we're gonna leave a ½ inch of headspace with it also. All right, so that looks like about a ½ inch of headspace to me on this one. So we're gonna take that, put it on the next one, and move this jar over. And as soon as we get them all filled, we're gonna put our lids and our rings on there. So I'll go ahead and get this filled up. And hopefully I have enough brine here. I feel like that this is not gonna fill these 5 quarts here. Although I doubled that recipe that was supposed to have been for, I believe it was 6 pints. But I don't think this is, which would have been 12 pints, and it's not gonna fill up these 5 quarts. I don't think. But I could be fooled. Let's see. Move that over to the next one. We're gonna put that right there. Put this over here. This is a really good sweet treat to have in your pantry. And I think everybody should be stocking up on food. I know we've been hearing a lot about food shortages coming, and just my personal opinion, I believe that we're gonna have food. It's just gonna cost a lot of money, and this would be a sweet treat that you could go to the store and get the things to do it now, you know, and 3 months, 6 months, you may not be able to. And you can put this in your pantry, and it will be good for years, as long as you keep it in a cool, dry place. Yeah, this is only gonna do 3 quarts. So I am gonna have to make another batch of this brine. I'll be right back. Now that we have our brine in here with our carrots, we're gonna take a paper towel and some vinegar. You can use apple cider vinegar, white distilled vinegar, whatever you want. Just some vinegar on a paper towel. And then we're just gonna clean our rims here of our jars. And this is just to ensure that they don't have any of the sticky syrup on them, so our jars will seal, so we don't have an issue. Then you're just going to take your lid, put it on there, put your ring on there, and you're just going to hand tighten those. Oh, I forgot one important part. Air bubbles. You have to debubble these. So I don't have a debubbler, but you could use like a plastic knife or anything that you can get in there and just do this, and it just gets the bubbles out of it. And bubbles, uh-oh, I lost a couple. Bubbles can cause siphoning, and you don't want siphoning. That just means that when these jars are trying to seal, it's going to siphon this juice out into your canner. They may seal anyway after siphoning, but lots of times they do not. So I suggest you go ahead and debubble anything that you're canning. Debubble it first. And that's how you debubble it. And of course I'm going to have to clean that rim again because I just got mess all over it. So I've got everybody debubbled now. So we're going to start over with our paper towel and our vinegar. Wipe the rings, or the rims. Get them all wiped off. And once you have them all wiped off, then you're going to take your lid. You're going to put your lid on. Just take it, put it on there like that. Get your ring, and you just want to hand tighten these. You don't want to tighten it down real tight, and you don't want it real loose either. Just hand tighten it, just as far as you can get it down without, you know, just struggling to get it down. That's a couple of things that could cause the siphoning, is bubbles, not having enough headspace, and this ring being too tight or too loose. Once you get your lids and you get your rings on, then you're going to take them. You're going to put them back in the canner. See, the water's still hot in there. And then you're just put all 5 jars in there, and then I'll show you what to do next down here. I have all 5 of our jars in here, and they've been packed. They've got the brine in them. We've cleaned the rims. We've put the lids and the rings on it. And now we need to put our lid on. So again, we're going to take this where it says locked right there. We're going to take this, and we're going to swing it around to here, so we know that lid's locked. So the lid's locked in place. We're going to close this arm again, and we're going to turn this green knob. We're still going to leave our venting cover off. We're not going to put that on yet. We're just going to leave it sitting here on the table. And this still says fill jars. So we've already filled the jars. We're going to hit this arrow right here, and it says heat. So this is going to heat up again in here, hotter. It's going to vent for 10 minutes after it heats up, and then it's going to beep, and it's going to tell me to put this on. Oh my God, you got grass all over the place. Alright, so now it says put regulator on, and it says can. So we're going to put this on up here, and it does have steam coming down it, so be very careful or use a towel. And just pop it on there. And then we're going to come down here. We're going to mash that arrow again, and in 30 minutes it's going to come up, and it's going to build up the pressure. Once it does that, it's going to start counting down, and then it will beep when it gets done. It goes through its own cooling down mode, and then beeps when it's ready for you to take them out. So when it's done, it's going to say done right here. It's all cooled down, and it's let the pressure out. You'll turn this green knob, flip that up, turn this, and there's our carrots. So I ended up with 8 quarts of glazed carrots, and this is some tomato soup I canned. This is regular carrots. 2 quarts of regular carrots. I hope you guys got something out of this video and you've enjoyed it. Go ahead and like, subscribe, hit that bell notification so you don't miss any videos that we put out. And come back and see us. God bless you all.